You probably think you know what intelligence looks like: quick answers, confident opinions, always having something to say. But psychology research shows the opposite. The most intelligent people display habits that most people completely misunderstand. They look weird, quiet, sometimes even antisocial. And if you have most of these 7 signs, your brain might be running on a completely different operating system than everyone around you. Here is one that nobody talks about. You rehearse conversations in your head before they happen, not just important ones, casual ones, what you'll say to your coworker tomorrow, how you'll respond if someone asks you a specific question, even arguments with people you haven't spoken to in months. Psychologists call this predictive modeling. Your brain is literally running simulations, testing different outcomes, building mental scenarios before the real conversation even starts. Most people think this is anxiety, but here's what they miss. This isn't worrying about what might go wrong. This is your brain optimizing for what could go right. A high IQ brain doesn't just react to the world, it prepares for it. This one sounds wrong, I know, but research from the University of Rochester found that people who swear more actually have higher vocabulary scores and stronger cognitive fluency. Here is why. Swearing is not about being aggressive or impulsive. It's about precision. Sometimes one word communicates exactly what you mean faster than a 10-word polite sentence could. A high IQ brain prioritizes efficiency. If the shortest path between your thought and someone understanding you is a single sharp word, that's the path your brain takes. So the next time someone tells you to watch your language, tell them psychology says your language is actually just fine. You ever notice you start talking like the person you're spending time with, not mimicking them deliberately, not trying to fit in? Your accent, your rhythm, even specific phrases, they shift automatically after a few hours with someone. This is called linguistic accommodation, and cognitive scientists consider it a marker of high neural adaptability. Your brain is so good at pattern recognition that it absorbs speech patterns unconsciously. Most people think this is just being impressionable. Wrong, this is your brain's mirror system working at maximum capacity. It's not copying, it's adapting. A sign that your cognitive hardware is constantly updating itself based on the environment. Now pause for a second. 3 signs down. If even one of these hit you, keep watching, because the next one is the sign that almost every highly intelligent person has but almost nobody recognizes. This one hurts. You procrastinate on the things you care about the most, not the boring stuff. You can usually handle that. The big projects, the creative work, the things that actually define who you are. Psychologists at the University of Calgary call this active procrastination, and it works differently than regular procrastination. Your brain isn't avoiding the task, it's incubating it, running background processing while you do something else, building the solution in parallel. Here's what most people get wrong. They see you putting off important work and think you're lazy or afraid, but your brain is actually doing the deep work before you ever sit down to write, build, or create. The delay isn't avoidance, it's preparation. Okay, this one is visceral. When someone states something confidently and you know it's wrong, not just slightly off, but fundamentally incorrect, you feel a physical reaction. Tight chest, clenched jaw, almost like your body is rejecting their statement before your brain even finishes processing it. This is related to what psychologists call cognitive dissonance intolerance. Your brain has such a strong internal model of reality that encountering a confident falsehood creates genuine discomfort. This isn't about being argumentative, it's about accuracy. Your brain treats confident wrongness the same way your immune system treats a virus, as something that needs to be identified and corrected immediately. This is the most ironic sign of high intelligence. You question yourself constantly. You doubt your conclusions. You recheck your reasoning. Meanwhile, people who know a fraction of what you know speak with absolute certainty. Psychology calls this the Dunning-Kruger effect in reverse. Less knowledgeable people overestimate what they understand. Highly intelligent people underestimate it because they can see how much complexity exists beneath every simple answer. Here's what this actually means. Your self-doubt is not a weakness, it's a calibration tool. Your brain is constantly adjusting its confidence level based on how much information is still missing. That uncertainty isn't confusion, it's precision. This is the one almost every highly intelligent person experiences, but almost nobody explains correctly. You walk into a room full of people, friends, family, a social event, and you still feel like you're on a different frequency, not because you dislike people, not because you're antisocial, because your brain is processing layers of information that the conversation around you isn't touching. Social dynamics, emotional undercurrents, unspoken patterns, things nobody else in the room is even noticing. The world calls this isolation, but it's actually depth. You're not disconnected from people you're connected to, more of the reality between people than most people can perceive. So here's what all of this actually means. If you recognize yourself in most of these signs, you are not broken, you're not weird, you're not too much. Your brain is just calibrated for depth in a world that runs on surface level. The rehearsing isn't anxiety, it's preparation. The procrastination isn't laziness, it's incubation. The self-doubt isn't weakness, it's calibration. And the loneliness isn't disconnection, it's awareness. The habits that make highly intelligent people feel different are the same habits that let them see things others miss. Comment the number of the sign that hit you hardest. I want to know which one resonated. And if you want me to break down why highly intelligent people struggle with relationships, specifically comment 7. Want the psychology of why smart people often feel like they're pretending to be normal? Comment 5. Subscribe if this is the kind of psychology content you've been looking for, the stuff that actually makes sense of how your mind works.